Part 1. You will hear people talking in 8 different situations. For questions 1 to 8, choose the best answer, A, B or C. 1. You overhear a customer complaining in a shop or garage. She is complaining about A, a coat, B, a car, C, a skirt.
It's the lining. Look here, you can see for yourself how it's coming unstitched. And I've only worn it once or twice. It's as bad as the coat I returned last week. I don't really want another one in case it's the same. I live 15 minutes drive away. That's when I've got my car on the road. Today, with it being in the garage, I've had to come by bus. You can't expect me to spend my time bringing £5 skirts back all the while. I'd best have a refund and try somewhere else.
2. You will hear someone speaking on the telephone to a taxi firm. He is going to A, cancel his journey, B, ring another taxi firm, C, just wait for a taxi to come and pick him up.
10 o'clock. That's far too late. I need to catch the train at 10, so I need picking up at 22 at the very latest. If you haven't got a driver available for me, I'll just have to try another firm. And if no one can help me, I may as well cancel the journey completely. You'll arrange with another firm yourself? Well, that's extremely kind of you, but why should you go to all that trouble? Well, you certainly take good care of your regular customers. Goodbye for now, then, and thanks very much.
3. You will hear a dentist and his patient speaking to one another. The patient is going to have 2 teeth removed because A, they're too bad to save, B, he's tired of having them filled, C, he's in pain.
I'm afraid you'll need 2 extractions, sir. These upper left molars.
But can't they be filled, like they have been before?
Yes, Mr. Bates. You must be tired of coming for all those endless fillings. This time they're just too badly decayed to preserve any longer. Frankly, over the last few years they've been filled so much that there's not much left, apart from the roots.
Good heavens. I'm not too keen on extractions.
I'm fully booked for the next 6 weeks. But if you want the work done sooner, if you find you're in any pain, for example, you may be able to get an appointment with one of my colleagues.
4. You will hear a mother who is pleased with the good report her son has just brought home from school. The most surprising improvement in Peter's work is in A, geography, B, maths, C, French.
Well done, Peter. This is far and away the best report you've had for years. Dad'll be pleased with the geography mark after all the help he's given you lately. Maybe it's finally paying off. Yes, they all say how hard you're working. Even the maths. What's got into you, Peter? Are you sure you've got the right report? But I think the thing that'll please Dad most is the way you've gone ahead with your French. Here, you'd better have some more cake. Or should I say gâteau?
5. You will hear a conversation between a child and the person who is teaching him to play the drums. The teacher wants his pupil to A, play faster, B, play more lightly, C, practice hitting the drums more sharply.
Rum-titty-tum, rum-titty-tum. You need to hold the drumsticks a little less firmly than that. That's it, so they pivot freely between your fingers.
But I don't really like these exercises. I want to go in for jazz, not this.
But what does it matter? You need to sharpen up your techniques, or you won't be able to drum at all. Now come on, John. Don't hold those sticks like a hammer and chisel. Hold them lightly, and let them bounce off the skin of the drum. Concentrate on building up the pace and the rhythm.
If I do it fast enough, it'll be like a drum roll.
Exactly. That's what we're aiming at.
I want to play the cymbals too.
We'll come to that. We need to do one thing at a time.
6. You will hear a man who is not very happy about a job which someone has offered him. His main concern is A, the pay, B, the chance of having his money stolen, C, the risks and responsibilities he would have to take.
The main thing wrong with the job is the money.
I'd have said the pay was excellent.
No, I mean taking it over the counter, cashing up at night and so on.
That's not beyond you.
It's the responsibility. If anything goes wrong, they knock it off my wages. Suppose I accept a forged note. Even the school kids are up to it these days. One mistake and it's 20 or even 50 pounds gone from my own pocket.
Don't be unfair. They're not all into crime. Far from it, in fact.
7. You'll hear a travel agent talking to someone who is booking airline tickets. His journey will finish in A. Dresden, B. Moscow, C. Amsterdam.
You can book an earlier flight from Amsterdam if you like, but there's not much point. You see, there'd be no connection when you got to Dresden. You just have to wait around for 5 hours. You may as well have a full night's sleep and complete the journey. Well, between breakfast and your evening meal when you get to Moscow. Okay? So, you need to reach Amsterdam Airport for 9:30, which is more or less after the morning rush.
8. You'll hear the start of a lecture about how people are affected by different colours. The lecturer thinks that blue is a bad colour for A. National flags, B. China and plates, C. Food.
Good evening. And I hope the people at the back can hear clearly, can you? Good. Well, today I want to talk about the way the colours around us affect our moods and behaviour. Take blue, for instance. Blue's a fine colour for many things. A symbol of tradition, quality, stability. As such, it features on the Union Jack and the flags of nations around the world. It's also the colour of the inimitable willow design on China from China, of course. Just imagine if all the food on your plate was blue. The colour nature has chosen for various fungi, moulds, and deadly poisons.
Part 2. You'll hear part of a talk about antique collecting. For questions 9 to 18, complete the notes which summarise what the speaker says. You'll need to write a word or a short phrase in each box.
I'd advise anyone who's starting in antiques to begin very cautiously. It's very easy to spend a fortune on 1 or 2 items. They may be bargains or they may be rubbish, and the beginner obviously runs more risk than the seasoned collector of spending badly. But either way, it kills the hobby instantly if all your money is locked up in just a couple of items. No, you should go to local events, car boot sales, flea markets, even jumble sales, and spend a reckless £1 or 2 on things that really take your fancy. And I do mean just a £1 or 2. I used to go to these events with a £5 at most, tucked into my pocket. It stopped me giving way to any extravagant impulse, and it also streamlined the bargaining process. When I said I only had a £5 on me, the stall holders knew I was telling the truth. They're skillful judges of character, and either they accepted my meagre offer, or they turned it down flat. We didn't waste each other's time. At these prices, you don't need to be too selective, of course. Get them home, discuss them with friends, put them on show, and find out all you can about them. The beauty of this is that things that disappoint you, you can quickly resell. Just go along to the sort of event where you got them in the first place, offer them to stall holders, or have a little stall of your own. Things you obtained for £1 or 2, you can sell again for the same amount, perhaps a bit more, and then you can squander the proceeds in a further burst of reckless spending. Over the years, you'll accumulate some startling bargains, but do it by sifting your way through the rubbish that comes along. I think that's the answer. Don't go for quality. Go for quantity. The more stuff you have passing through your hands, the greater your chance of a lucky find. Yet you won't be taking any risks. Of course, you'll be gaining valuable experience, skill, and confidence. In the end, you'll be able to spend big money if you so desire, without making any major blunders. Do this to get treasured objects for your retirement home. Crystal vases, grandfather clocks, and things like that. Oh, that reminds me. Don't forget to take out a suitable insurance policy, one that covers unspecified items for a high total value, as much as £10,000 perhaps. Like that, you can have things coming and going without the bother of insuring them specifically. I can't think of anything else to say. Just happy hunting.
Part 3. You will hear 5 different people talking about their hobbies. For questions 19 to 23, choose from the list A to F what each one does. Use each letter only once. There is one extra letter which you do not need to use.
There are 2 ways to do it. One is to have no bottom on it and get the ship in that way. After which, of course, the bottom goes on with a little glue. But as far as I'm concerned, that method is just for cheats. And there's no use in having a hobby if it doesn't present a challenge. So now I'll tell you the proper way. Have the mast and rigging folded down on the deck of your ship, like so. Can you see the one that I'm holding up? Good. Then slip it in through the neck and gently pull on the cords. So up come your mast and rigging, and you're almost home and dry.
Then the things kept dying on me. They'd go brown round the edges, which I thought was just due to lack of water, but that was only the start of the trouble. The rot would set in, and before I knew it, they'd be totally useless. Of course, with all the different advice I got, I was all at sea. Some said one thing, and some said another. Old Charlie down the road recommended regular mulching all through the season, so that's what I did. He said it had never been known to fail, so I thought they'd recover. But no such luck. Look at these ones here.
Take a look at my map. Like most of my gear, I have it covered in plastic to keep the rain off, of course. And look at the plots of land strung out all along the valley. What the map doesn't show is the difference in crops. First, at the lower levels, you find orchards and market gardens. Then moving up, you come to the corn crops, the barley, the oats, and that sort of thing. And finally, in the upper reaches, you come to the hill farms with little other than pasture and sheep. It's the variety I like so much. Of course, toiling uphill can be a pain, literally at times, but striding, or should I say hobbling, back down at the end of the day makes it all worthwhile.
For my business, I chose a spot in the valley, because that's where the soil is better and there are fewer frosts, and fewer high winds to blow the blossoms and ripening fruit off the trees. But at weekends, I really take to the surrounding hills in a big way. I've a good set of gears, and with all the exercise I do in the gym, I seem to have the pedal power to manage most gradients. I love to get off, sit down for a rest, and look from above at my patch of trees, especially when they're covered in blossom. 2 wheels are definitely better than 4 when it comes to relaxing.
People think it's an odd hobby because you can finish up in such a bad way. Too tired to be good for anything else. I have a pedometer, which I clip to my belt before I set out. I've measured my average stride length. Not when I'm flat out, but at a fast trot. And I've keyed it in. So every time I try a new route, it clocks up the miles. And from that, I can work out my average speed. Assuming I look at my watch when I start. I've been trying to build it up over the years, but I think my age is against me now. Anyway, it's a healthy hobby. Provided you don't overdo it, of course.
Part 4. You will hear a conversation which takes place at a second-hand shop between a taxi driver, his passenger Jenny, and the woman called Anne who runs the shop. Answer questions 24 to 30 by writing T for taxi driver, J for Jenny, or A for Anne in the boxes provided.
You didn't have to get out of the car. I'd have been happy to collect it for you.
Oh, thanks, but I haven't paid for it yet. Oh, look, there's my chair. The one with my name, Jenny, on the label. Now, where's Anne? Ah, in the back room. Excuse me, Anne?
Yes? Oh, yes, you've come for your chair, right?
That's it. I've as good as bought it, but the one thing we didn't do was agree on a price.
Make me an offer.
Oh, a fiver?
Well, I don't think... Can't you do any better?
$7.50 then. Cash.
Go on then.
Here you are. £6, £7, £7.50.
Thanks.
Right, if the deal's complete, I'll carry it out to the car. Oh, my goodness, it's heavy.
Oh, you better not grumble after the way I've recommended you to this lady, like I do to all my customers. I told her quick-fire taxis are very good at squeezing things into their cars. Mind you, she says she knows you already and uses you all the time.
Let me hold the door for you, Kenneth. Yes, you seem to have friends all over town. You know, when you picked me up with my shopping, I was talking to Philip. Well, he says he recommends you too.
Well, I helped him once or twice when he had a problem. The thing is, if you want people to be friendly to you, you have to be prepared to do things for them. Put yourself out a little. Carry their shopping. Give them a cheerful smile. Do you know, I have a customer, an old lady, who pays me to drive her into the country for an afternoon out. We have tea at a cafe, she pays, and we come home. She wants the company, that's all.
Good way to earn a living.
Yes, very. I said to her, look, you shouldn't be spending all that money. And she got really fierce with me. It's my money, she said, and if I don't spend a bit in my old age, what'll happen to it? It'll only go to me heirs.
Doesn't she care about her family then?
She hasn't any children. She's lonely. That's why she likes to drive out with me. Mind you, she doesn't always remember where she's been.
Well, I know where I'm going next. I need a few home comforts after all this shopping. It's time to put my feet up and have a jolly good rest. You're sure you can get the chair into the car?
No problem. You sit in the front, and I'll shove it on the back seat.